Third match of the round here, round in number 7. Michael Braverman, Is It Phoenix? Kyle Norman, Sultai Ramp. This one will be a little bit faster because we are time shifted here. Winner of this one will make our elimination round. So for you Sultai Ramp haters out there like myself, let's go Braverman!
And this is one of the closer matchups in the format that is not necessarily why you want to bring Is It Phoenix. Is It Phoenix? Their bread and butter matchups are the creature-based decks where you get to leverage your shocks as having real value and not just being mediocre lava spikes. This could get ugly for Braverman.
Oh, there's a Thought Eraser. That's going to take care of a shock. And Uro's going to be placed into the graveyard with the Surveil. Chart of course. It looks like maybe just a land.
Yeah, it's a really tough one here, just because nothing is that great here.
Because nothing's doing anything? That's a powerful Magic card.
What?
Uro.
The front half of Uro is just a common mono green card in the upcoming Zendikar Rising set, is it not?
I think you're right about that. I think you're right. And
Front half's fine.
So that's all that card does then.
Yeah,
so
just don't worry about it. It's probably nothing.
Not even remotely worried about it. You're just right. We're gonna head back Kyle's way. He's gonna play land. How about this? Is this okay?
Whew.
Emma, are you there? Did I lose you?
Is that
Did I lose you? Emma?
Kyle Norman just saying, "Oh my goodness, free 3-power creatures"? You know what? Let's do it.
You know what? I'm gonna chart a course. Take that.
I'm worth it.
This is going to be a real hard game to win for Michael Braverman. Draw 2, discard 1. No Phoenixes there, so Stormwing entities, plural, are going to have to do some real work this game, I think.
Right, this is the kind of game where Braverman really needed to find some of the namesake cards, those Arclight Phoenixes, to be able to really compete with what this Sultai Ramp deck is doing, because otherwise, your cards pound for pound just aren't worth the same amount.
Yep. Oh, great, a Gross Bar. I forgot that card was a card. Cool. All right, well, that resolves.
Oh, yeah, that card's not banned in this format yet.
Yeah. Good use of yet. Good use of yet.
If it's good.
We got ourselves an island. We got ourselves a overgrown 2 minutes of battlefield tap. Nissa, let's queue it up. We're a little short of Uro. All right, well, there's a little bit of hope then.
Yeah, I imagine that's a lot of why Norman is so eager to just shove these into the red zone, is if the Storming entity takes the trade, Norman just gets to bring back an Uro.
Here's Chart of Course for just 1. Finale and a land. And Sulfur Falls are the draw. So we got to put we got to put 1 card in the graveyard. The idea here, I think, was to find, of course, a Arclight Phoenix, but did not. So Sulfur Falls is the land for the turn here for Braverman. And we're going to go beat downs. No, we're not. We're hanging tight. All right. And so that means that we're going to Petty Theft Anissa, perhaps?
That's all I can imagine it being used on here. Trying to pave the way for these Finale of Promises to just win the game.
Yeah, and I like the way that Braverman did that. He did that on his own upkeep, so that Storming Entity is a 4/4 to brick wall these lands for a turn.
Right. It also, well, there was another overgrown tomb in hand because Sultai always has it, but it also forced Norman to tap one of the 2 creature lands that Nissa had already animated, so it just reduced the number of attackers that would be coming in the red zone anyway.
Got it. Okay. Well, swing 2 to 11, shock the draw. Set Storming Entity. We'll say I have to do a lot of work this game, and it is certainly trying.
I mean, there's a level here where resetting Nissa to 6 loyalty means that it is in range with just Shock Stormwing entity here.
Yeah, I'm curious exactly how we're going to use this shock and then the shock that's in the graveyard. How much red mana? We have access to 4 red mana, so a decent amount, and then the spells are on the cheap because of the Electromancer, so this Chart of Course might have to be pretty good. Don't forget that the entity is going to be pretty large because of the spells that are being played, so we got ourselves a little bit interesting game. I don't think lands will exactly what we were looking to draw. Yeah, I think that sound effect's appropriate. So we got some work to do, but this isn't impossible here for Braverman. Kill land. Entity is a 7/7. Kill the Nissa. And if I'm assuming correctly that Braverman has not played a land yet this turn, so yeah, that means that he can do this plus this. Lightning Axe might be alright.
It's a hard one where it's a spell, so it's probably better than a random card, but are you discarding Finale of Promise?
No way.
At this point, Braverman's been able to craft a line 3 turns down the line to kill this Nissa, so I'm not going to pretend to have any idea what's going on in his head.
That's fair.
But there's no surprise that he's a 2-time invitational top 8. He has 2 invitational top 8s to his name, right? He's just playing out of his mind and showing how good he is at this game.
Oh, that Thoughtseize hurts.
Yeah, that's so much.
That's brutal. Finale was going to be beautiful in that following turn to chart a course and more. Now we can't even attack, and now this is where most normal folks succumb to Uro. Because its advantage starts to come. Yep, here it comes. Starts to compound that advantage. Now you can see a Heartless Act now. That's
you can
bite the
6
dust.
mana Lightning Axe. That card has 2 modes.
It does. So you can block a land. You can 6 mana Lightning Axe. I guess actually 5 mana because of the Goblin Electromancer. Electromancer and Lightning Axe will trade with the Uro. You win the fight against the land. You're at 2, and you really hope your opponent has nothing.
Well, this Uro is coming back because of the land that died, unfortunately.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's brutal. If that Finale of Promise was still around, I'm curious what this game would have looked like. Hey, cool, Nissa and Uro and lands, and that'll do just fine.
Wow, cannot believe a common from Zendikar Rising did so much.
Game 1 goes to Kyle Norman. Up 1 over Michael Braverman, Sultai Ram, flexing its mythic muscles over Izzet Phoenix. Time to change some things up. We're seeing negates. We're seeing gusts come in very quickly here for Michael Braverman. He's not messing around.
So many cards out of the sideboard. This is basically transformational.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's clear that Braverman has come with some sort of plan to beat a Sultai Ramp deck. We'll actually see if that comes to fruition over the next potentially 2 games, but that first one did not go according to plan for Michael.
No, I feel like he just kind of drew a couple too many lands there. Most of the charter courses tried to filter them away, but when you draw 5 or 6 too many and you only get to loot away 3 of them, it's going to catch up with you.
All right, game 2. Braverman will be on the play. Well, at least has the option. I'll say that. Since that's technically correct.
Gonna call that.
Yep, that's right.
Nice.
All right. Not my favorite. Good enough, but not my favorite hand here for Braverman. Strategic planning, Brazen Borrowers.
If you're looking to be tempo-y, this is a way to get it done.
This is true.
Just having the beatdown plan, Shark Typhoon coming off of a strategic planning, another flash flyer. This is pressure, and this is what Braverman needed last game to actually have the game in reach.
And does his deck play enough lands to really take advantage of Shark Typhoon? I guess is the question. We're going to see a hard cast Brazen Borrower. That's going to resolve. Don't know if it's going to die right away or not. Looks like the answer is no. Arclight Phoenix the draw. That's a good one to discard with Thrill of Possibility. But first, beatdowns. And pass. Frost Spiral. Powerful.
Thrill Possibility is so scary in post-board games because getting it Aether Gusted, you throw up and then think about if you want to concede or not.
The old vomit inducer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you mean I can draw that 1 for 2 again?
Well, here's a Hydroid Crisis, and it's a 4/4, which is kind of the sweet spot against a deck like this. So this is where things are going to start to get pretty difficult here for Braverman. Throw a Possibility on the end step. Not going to be able to gust this one, so that's going to resolve. Phoenix to the bin. Untap and draw. Here's an island. And this is the thing that I was a little scared of with the 4/4 in the battlefield, which is, where do we go from here?
Yeah, Brazen Borrower cannot attack into this. Arclight Phoenix cannot attack into it. This is enough power to trade with a Crackling Drake. Lot of stuff going on here that is really rough for Braverman.
And this is why you see the power of a mana advantage in a matchup like this. Nissa placed onto the stack. Negate will try to counter it. Negate back means that Kyle Norman had plenty of mana thanks to those growth spirals that, of course, do cantrip while putting those lands on the battlefield. Now Nissa's on the battlefield, and we're officially getting to a rock and a hard place as Nissa with animated lands, a 4/4 Hydroid Krasis, and I'm not saying it's over, but I'm having difficulty finding the window here for Braverman to get back into this game.
Right, this is the rough spot where if you want to lean into this tempo-y game plan, then you are ultimately opting into a blue mirror. But one of the biggest key parts of blue mirrors that you alluded to before is just hitting all your land drops, having mana advantages, casting your threats with mana up to protect them, and so on. And Braverman is just coming up short there.
Yeah, he just feels like a step behind every step of the way thus far this game. The numbers on the battlefield are just not lining up between the exchange there with Negate or the fact that the Hydroid Krasis is a 4/4. I actually like the fact that Kyle Norman's playing this game somewhat conservatively as well with regards to the Hydroid Krasis, not getting too aggressive, because I think he's got a pretty sizable advantage as things currently stand, so there's no reason to really kind of get overly aggressive and maybe have that advantage fall in any meaningful way. We're seeing Shark Typhoon now. It's going to look like it's going to try to trade here with this island. But this deck that Braverman's playing here, Emma, it's not really a Shark Typhoon deck in the same way that, let's say, Kyle Norman's deck is.
Right, this is a spot where that is just a flash flyer that is fine. And that is what that is going to be, is an uncounterable, slightly overcosted flash cantrip creature. But whenever your opponent this is something we've seen in Standard a lot, right? Hydroid Krasis versus Shark Typhoon. I know which side of that I want to be on.
Sounds like the Shark Typhoon side, am I wrong?
Yeah. I want to be on the side where my X spell draws more cards and does almost the same thing otherwise, if there aren't any counter spells involved, or if they're all negates.
Well, fine. Storming Entity is going to be placed in the stack. Growth Spiral is going to be the response. Entity is on the battlefield. There will be a trigger here. Scry Deuce. Well, that's dead. So, Heartless Act is going to take care of that, or at least try to. I think successfully here in just a moment. And it does. Now the Scry 2 will resolve. Narset, nah, it's not about you this game. Oh no, we're going to keep it?
I mean, it's a rough spot, right? Your life total is high enough where if you're expecting to Aether Gust this Nissa on draw step, Narset is just 2 cards, or it's a card in 3 life.
Okay, that's fair.
Braverman puts it on bottom. I'm not necessarily saying that it was the best thing to do, but I can see where the consideration came from.
We're going to gust this Nissa on Kyle's turn in his draw step after he draws. He's going to leave it on top because he'd like to draw again.
He has another. Watch. They always do. Oh, no. Not a QQ.
Yeah, hello. There's a Hydroid Krasis. You said you wanted to be on the side of Hydroid Krasis, so here we go. A Triome, cycle it. It's powerful. See, it's flexible. It can do multiple things. So Natalie, I promise, you're a little late. I'm already torn. Nothing?
Edgy.
Nothing? Come on!
Oh, look. How can I even stand up to that?
I don't bring Natalie and Brulia into the cast that often, okay? I hold that line for specific times. Brazen Borrower is going to get in front of it's going to try to get in front of a Hydroid Krasis here.
Soaking up 1 damage.
I'll call this successfully, except that it's not. Kyle Norman's going to win this game in a match over Michael Braverman 2-0. Sultai Ramp going to take